Hey guys, so this is going to be my gubernatorial elections prediction as of 3/9/18, March 9th. As you can see, we've got the current governor maps, and as you can tell looking at this, people elect governors much differently than they do U.S. senators and presidential candidates. As you can see, we've got Democrats in Louisiana, Montana, and North Carolina. Okay, you're saying North Carolina is a swing state. North Carolina, in my opinion, is actually not a swing state. It was just they got massive African American. I think that it's a likely Republican state because there's enough African American vote there to pull off a Democratic win, but it's not necessarily likely. Okay, so as you can see, you got some weird Republicans in there too in Massachusetts, Maryland, Vermont. There's some. It's interesting the way that people elect their governors. It makes it much more difficult. This is going to be pretty much based off approval, and I'm not a huge fan of basing predictions off approval ratings, but that's pretty much all we have to go by. So let's go to the map. I have a number of states highlighted that are going to be solid one or the other. Republicans are flipping out right now. You're like, what are you talking about? Kansas. Democrats are flipping out. They're like, what about Connecticut? Well, in Connecticut, I actually may have that one flip. We'll see what happens. But Kansas, I'm going to put as leading Republican just because it tends to be a more liberal Republican state. Now it's definitely in the same boat with Nebraska and South Dakota, but at the same time, Kansas I'm going to put as likely just because it tends to be closer there. Once in a while, you get an independent in there in Kansas. It's interesting the way they vote. New Mexico, this is my first flip. I'm going to put this one as actually likely Democrat just because Susana Martinez is not running for re-election. I think that she was. I don't think she was very popular, but I think that her ethnicity helped her win there. But she's not gonna pull that off again. I'm actually flipping this to likely just because New Mexico is very changed. Alaska, I'm going to put as lean Republican. That's also a flip from the independent Bill Walker, who's very unpopular there. Colorado, I'm going to put as likely D. I think that one's going to be more of a solid blue state in the future, but at the same time, John Hickenlooper was there, and he was pretty popular, so I'm going to leave that right there. Nevada, I'm going to put as lean Republican. You're going to be like, okay, what are you talking about? It's like Latinos, they're huge there. I'm going to lean it that way literally because just because they elect governors differently, and we'll see what happens. Some polling is going to come out. I may change this in one of my future videos. But, sorry, I got off track. Georgia, I'm going to put as likely. Georgia and Arizona both, I'm going to put as likely Republican just because of the Clinton margin in those states. Illinois, I'm going to put as likely Republican because Bruce Rauner has really not been a Republican. And I think that the Illinois voters are going to reward that. Another likely is going to be in Minnesota, likely Democrat. Just because, really, the Trump margin, they've got, again, they like their Democratic politicians. Massachusetts, I'm going to put as likely Republican, along with Maryland because of the popularity of Larry Hogan and Charlie Baker, along with the popularity of Phil Scott in Vermont. That's going to keep that one in the Republican hands. And I'm going to make Maine also likely again because they elect governors differently. They elect their governor there. We have 26-15. The Republicans have now gained control of the governorships. Ohio, I'm going to lean Republican. Actually, no, I'm going to get back to that. So, Alabama, I'm going to put as solid Republican. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Kay Ivey, extremely popular. Iowa, Kim Reynolds, I'm going to put as... I want to put it as solid, but just because of Iowa swing state status, I'm going to put it as likely, along with Ohio, because just because the margins that Trump won there by, I think that they're turning into, especially Iowa, but also Ohio, are turning into solid Republican states. I don't know if they'll yet take Sherrod Brown out this year, but he will be ousted eventually, along with the Democratic Party there. Michigan, I'm actually going to put as lean Democratic. That's a flip. Michigan does not like Rick Snyder. They elected him twice. He's just not their favorite guy. Scott Walker, though, I'm going to call wins re-election in Wisconsin. And in Pennsylvania, I'm actually going to call this one as a flip for the Republicans, mainly because of Tom Wolf's popularity and because they elect governors differently. Florida, Rick Scott's popular. They haven't elected a Republican governor since, I believe, before Jeb Bush. And that, I mean, I mean, a Democrat governor has not been there since before Jeb Bush, and that is they're just they just don't like their Democrat governors. In Connecticut, this one's gonna be another flip to the Republicans. I think it's because Dan Malloy is so extremely unpopular. He can't run for, but now that I'm thinking about it, he can't run for re-election. So I'm actually gonna put this one as lean D for now. And New Hampshire, I'm gonna lean Republican, just because of those interesting ways they elect governors. But I think that Chris Sununu is popular there, and I think that's gonna be enough to pull him over. So there you go, 33-17, and that's it.